Two things. One grows underground, the other comes from a tree that can live for thousands of years. That is all this is. Two things that have been in kitchens across the world for thousands of years. Two things that you probably already own. Two things so ordinary, so familiar, so easily overlooked, that most people walk past them every single day without a second thought. But here is what the longest-lived populations on Earth have in common. Not an expensive supplement, not a complicated protocol, not something discovered in a laboratory last year. These two things, used together, consistently. As a daily practice passed down through generations, not because someone read about it, but because the people who did it watched what happened to the people who didn't. The island of Crete has one of the highest concentrations of people living past 90 on Earth. Their kitchens all have the same two things in them. Their grandmothers all gave the same instruction. Ancient Egyptian physicians prescribed them together. Hippocrates wrote about their combined power over 24 centuries ago. Roman soldiers were issued both before long campaigns, and the Bible references one of them as sacred, mentioned over 200 times, while the other was mourned by the Israelites as the food they missed most when they left Egypt. Two things. And what happens when you use them together, every day for 7 days, is something most people in the modern world have never tried. Despite owning both of them right now. This is garlic and olive oil, and the 7 days ahead of you are going to change how you see two of the most ancient ingredients on Earth. Let me ask you something honest. When did you last feel genuinely well? Not absence of illness, not managing, not getting through the week. Actually well. The kind of well where the body feels like it is working with you rather than against you. Where the energy is present without being forced. Where the mornings arrive with something in them. Where the body feels capable of the day, of the demands, of the life in front of it. Most people, if they think about it carefully, would say it has been a while. And here is what the ancient world understood that most of us have forgotten. You do not restore that baseline with a dramatic intervention. You restore it with a consistent practice. Something small, something daily, something the body can use day after day to reduce the burden it has been carrying and begin rebuilding the foundation that makes genuine vitality possible. The combination we are talking about today has been doing exactly that for thousands of years. Not for sick people looking for a cure. For healthy people who understood that the difference between living well and simply surviving was in what they gave their bodies every day. And here is what makes this specific to you. After 7 days of this, used the right way, in the right form, at the right moment, people describe the same thing consistently. Something shifts, not dramatically, but unmistakably. The body begins to run more cleanly. The energy becomes more reliable. The inflammation that was the background of every day becomes quieter, and the version of themselves they had been hoping to get back to starts to feel less like a memory and more like a direction. Two things. 7 days. This is what happens. One of them has been growing in the Mediterranean for thousands of years, pressed from fruit by the same method for 5 millennia, found in ancient tombs sealed 3,000 years ago, used in the most sacred rituals in the biblical world, consumed every day by the populations with the longest lives on Earth. The other was found in the tomb of Tutankhamun, was eaten by the workers who built the pyramids, was called Russian penicillin on World War II battlefields when all other medicines ran out, has been prescribed by every major medical tradition on Earth, across every culture that ever encountered it. Together, used consistently every day for 7 days, they form one of the most documented healing combinations in the history of natural medicine. Garlic and olive oil. And what these two ordinary things do to the body when used together, with intention, with the right form, with the consistency the ancient world practiced, is something most people have spent their entire adult lives walking past without realizing what was available to them. If you're already wondering whether those two things in your kitchen could really do all of this, subscribe. Because the 7 days ahead get much more interesting. Here is where this story begins, and it begins with the trees. There are olive trees growing in the Mediterranean today that were alive when the Bible was being written. When Homer composed the Odyssey, when the foundations of Western civilization were being laid in the cities of ancient Greece, some of them are still being harvested, still producing fruit, still providing oil that people consume the same way their ancestors did 100 generations before them. This is not normal. Most plants do not survive for 3,000 years. The olive tree does, and the oil it produces has been at the center of human health, sacred ritual, and daily life for longer than almost any other substance on earth. In the Bible, olive oil is referenced over 200 times. It was the base of the sacred anointing oil that God gave to Moses, the most important preparation in the ancient Israelite tradition. Kings were anointed with it. The sick were anointed with it. The temple lamp was filled with it and was never allowed to go out. The Prophet Muhammad specifically praised the olive tree and its oil. "Eat olive oil and use it as ointment," he said, "for it comes from a blessed tree." Now place garlic alongside it. In Numbers 11:5, one of the most human moments in the entire Bible, the Israelites wandering in the desert look back at Egypt and list the foods they miss most. Among them, specifically, garlic, not gold, not comfort, not the pleasures of Egyptian life. Garlic. They had left behind everything, and garlic was what they mourned. The workers who built the Great Pyramid of Giza were given garlic daily, and this is not legend. It is inscribed on the walls of the pyramid itself. Their employers understood that a workforce given garlic stayed stronger, got sick less, and maintained the physical output that creating one of the 7 wonders of the world required. Hippocrates, the man who founded modern medicine, prescribed both separately and together, for wounds, for the lungs, for the heart, for what he called imbalances in the blood that led to the conditions that most of his patients suffered from. And in Crete, the island where people have been living past 90 at higher rates than almost anywhere else on Earth for as long as records have been kept, the tradition is simple and unbroken. Garlic and olive oil, every day, as a practice, not a prescription, as the foundation of how the body is maintained, not a remedy for when it fails. They did not inherit this practice from a study or a video. They inherited it from grandmothers who watched what happened to the people who did it, and the people who stopped. Here is the science, kept simple, because what matters is not the names of the compounds. It is what they mean for the way your body feels. Olive oil contains a compound called oleocanthal. Researchers discovered something remarkable about it. It works on inflammation through the same biological pathway as ibuprofen, not a similar pathway, the same one. What that means for you is that the low-level inflammation that accumulates in the body across years of modern life, in the joints, in the arteries, in the gut lining, is being consistently, gently addressed every time good olive oil is consumed. Not sharply, not temporarily, but cumulatively. Day by day, in the direction of less. Garlic, when you crush it and let it rest for 10 minutes before eating, releases a compound called Allicin. Allicin does something that very few natural compounds have been documented to do. It works directly on the cardiovascular system, reducing the stickiness of the blood that contributes to arterial buildup, lowering blood pressure, and supporting the circulation that keeps energy and oxygen moving through the body efficiently. It also works against the pathogens, the bacteria, viruses, and fungi that accumulate in a body that is not being consistently supported. Together, they work on the body from complementary directions simultaneously. One addressing the inflammation, one addressing the circulation and the microbial environment, both supporting the liver, both supporting the gut microbiome, both reducing the oxidative stress that ages the body from the inside. The reason the longest-lived populations on Earth eat these two things every day is not coincidence. The body, given both consistently, begins to run differently, and 7 days is enough to feel the direction. This is important because the form matters. For garlic, crush or finely chop 1 clove. Then wait. 10 minutes at minimum before consuming. This resting period is when the active compound forms. The enzyme reaction that creates allicin only completes after the cell wall has been broken and exposed to air. A clove swallowed whole or consumed immediately after crushing delivers a fraction of what a rested clove delivers. Those 10 minutes are the medicine. For olive oil, extra virgin, cold-pressed, in a dark bottle. The throat sting, the mild peppery sensation that quality olive oil produces at the back of the throat, is the presence of the active anti-inflammatory compound. No sting means it has been processed, heated, or diluted to the point where what made it valuable has been largely removed. The sting is the signal. Look for it. The simplest preparation: 1 crushed clove, rested 10 minutes, consumed with 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. On an empty stomach if possible. The active compounds from both ingredients absorb significantly more effectively before food than with a meal. First thing in the morning is when the liver is completing its overnight work and most ready to receive both compounds. But the consistency matters more than the exact timing. Some people take the garlic and then sip the oil. Others mix them on a small spoon and take both together. Some add a small squeeze of lemon and a pinch of black pepper, which increases the absorption of almost everything it accompanies. All of these work. The preparation takes 2 minutes. The Cretan grandmothers have been doing it every morning for longer than most things in modern health culture have existed. So we decided to pay attention the way the ancient world paid attention. Not with blood panels or lipid profiles, just with the body, and with 7 days. What surprised us most wasn't the digestion. 1 crushed garlic clove, rested 10 minutes, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Every morning on an empty stomach, before breakfast, before coffee, before the day made its first claim on the body. And here is what we noticed. Day 1. The first morning, the preparation takes 2 minutes. The olive oil is smooth and immediate, coating the mouth and throat with a warmth that spreads into the stomach before you have finished swallowing. The garlic arrives behind it, the allicin reaching the throat with its distinctive warmth, moderated by the oil in a way it is not when eaten alone. Within 15 minutes, a settled quality in the stomach, a sense of having given the body something substantial before the day began asking things from it. Some people notice a gentle activation within 20 minutes, not like caffeine, something more foundational. Day 2. The quality of the morning energy is different, not higher, more present, less of the slow warming up that the first hour usually requires. The body seems to have arrived at the morning already further along than usual. Some people notice their digestion through the morning is more settled. Others notice they are less hungry at breakfast. The olive oil's slow-release energy and the metabolic activation from the garlic creating a morning baseline that does not immediately need supplementing. Day 3. Some people notice less bloating through the day. Meals resolve more cleanly. A general lightness in the abdomen by the end of the day that had not been present at the start of the week. Day 4. Something shifts in the physical experience of the body, a quality of ease that is hard to name but impossible to miss. Less of the low-level tension that chronic inflammation creates in the joints, in the chest, in the areas of the body that have been quietly complaining for long enough to be tuned out. Some people notice their hands and feet are warmer, the circulation opening. Others describe the body feeling less pressurized, less held. Day 5. Mental clarity and sustained focus are both noticeably different by day 5. The mid-morning fog that usually needs a second coffee to lift is thinner. The mid-afternoon that usually fades is more available. The gut-brain connection is real, and a gut that has been receiving consistent support for 5 days is communicating better with the brain than it was a week ago. Some describe a quality of morning sharpness they had forgotten they were capable of. Day 6. Skin and appearance. Many people begin noticing by day 6 a clarity in the face that they cannot account for externally. Less redness, more evenness, a brightness that comes from inside rather than from anything applied to the surface. The anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activity has been working at the cellular level for nearly a week. The skin is beginning to show what has been happening underneath it. Day 7. The seventh morning, the preparation has become something the body anticipates. The 2 minutes it takes have become a non-negotiable. And the morning that follows, the energy, the settled digestion, the physical ease, the quality of clarity, has become the new reference point. Most people describe day 7 with a specific recognition. This is what the morning can feel like. I did not know I had been settling for less. The timeline tracks the days, the science names the mechanisms. But what this ritual could mean for you, for the version of you who makes this a daily practice not just for 7 days but across weeks and months and years, is what matters most. Because the Cretan grandmothers did not do this for a week and stop. They did it for a lifetime. And the lifetime that followed was the evidence. Energy that belongs to you. Not borrowed from caffeine. Not forced from willpower. Generated by a body that is receiving consistent anti-inflammatory and cardiovascular support before the demands of the day begin. Many people who maintain this practice describe, across weeks, a quality of morning energy that feels fundamentally different, more reliable, more like the body is producing rather than depleting. The afternoons stop costing so much. The ends of days arrive with something still in reserve, a heart that works less hard. The cardiovascular effects of this combination are among the most consistently documented in nutritional science. Blood pressure that is slightly lower, blood that moves slightly more freely, arteries that carry slightly less of the oxidative damage that accumulates across a lifetime of modern diet and chronic stress. These are not dramatic numbers, but across years of daily practice, they add up to a heart that has been given consistent support rather than consistent strain. Digestion that cooperates. The gut is where so much of what we feel originates. The energy, the mood, the immune resilience. A gut microbiome consistently supported by the prebiotic compounds in olive oil and the antimicrobial action of garlic runs differently from one that is not. Many people describe, across weeks of this practice, a digestive system that feels like an ally. Less bloating, more regularity, less of the mid-afternoon heaviness that most people manage rather than address, and a relationship with food that becomes subtly more intelligent, the body knowing what it needs, asking for it clearly, and being satisfied by it. Inflammation that gradually quiets. This is the change that matters most over the long term. Chronic low-level inflammation is the common thread running through most of the conditions that define modern illness. It accumulates quietly over years from diet, from stress, from the way most modern bodies are maintained. And it is reversed not by dramatic intervention, but by consistent daily reduction. Many people describe, across months of this practice, a body that simply aches less, that moves more freely into the years that would otherwise bring stiffness and restriction. The change is subtle, month to month, and unmistakable year to year. Vitality, the word the Mediterranean world used for what we are describing. The people of Crete and Sardinia and the Greek islands do not talk about vitality as a goal they are pursuing. They inhabit it. It is the natural state of a body given the right things daily, consistently, over a long time. 7 days is not a long time. But it is enough to feel the direction, and the direction for a body receiving this every day is always the same. Toward more ease, more capacity. More of the life the body is capable of living when it is genuinely well rather than merely getting by. Your body is capable of more repair and restoration than most people realize. Garlic and olive oil are not the answer to everything. But they are two things, already in your kitchen, already within reach, that your body has been waiting to receive every day for longer than you have been alive. The classic preparation, the Cretan method. Crush 1 clove of garlic with the flat of a knife or a garlic press. Let it rest for 10 full minutes. This is the step most people skip, and it is the most important one. The active compound only forms during this resting period. After 10 minutes, consume the garlic with 1 tablespoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil. Swallow the garlic with the oil or chew it first. Both work. The oil moderates the intensity and significantly enhances the absorption of the garlic's compounds. For those who find raw garlic too intense, use fermented garlic, cloves submerged in raw honey for a minimum of 1 week. The flavor becomes softer and more complex. The active compounds are more stable and in many ways more bioavailable. Take 1 fermented clove with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Same preparation, more gentle delivery. Adding to the preparation, a squeeze of fresh lemon adds vitamin C and liver support. A pinch of black pepper increases the absorption of the active compounds in both ingredients. Both additions are traditional and both are documented in Mediterranean and Ayurvedic preparations. Neither is required. Both make it better. Timing. On an empty stomach is ideal, at least 20 to 30 minutes before food. The absorption of both ingredients is measurably higher before a meal than with one. Morning is the natural time for most people, and the liver's transition from overnight work to daytime function makes it the optimal window. But consistency matters more than exact timing. A preparation taken every day at a slightly imperfect time will always outperform a perfect preparation taken irregularly. What to look for in olive oil: extra virgin, cold pressed, in a dark bottle, with a mild throat sting. That slight peppery sensation is the presence of the anti-inflammatory compound. If the oil tastes purely mild and sweet with no sting at all, the active compounds have been compromised by heat, age, or processing. Find one that stings. That is the one worth using. Garlic and olive oil in the amounts described, 1 clove and 1 tablespoon, are safe for most people. People on blood-thinning medication should be aware that garlic has mild anticoagulant properties that can compound pharmaceutical anticoagulants. Speak with a healthcare provider if you are on warfarin or similar medications. People scheduled for surgery are typically advised to stop regular garlic supplementation 1 to 2 weeks beforehand. Some people experience mild digestive discomfort from raw garlic on an empty stomach in the first few days. Starting with half a clove or switching to fermented garlic usually resolves this. People with gallbladder conditions should consult a healthcare provider before beginning a daily raw olive oil practice. Fat consumption can trigger gallbladder activity. As always, start with what the body can comfortably receive. Half a clove, half a tablespoon. Observe for 3 days. Build from there. Consistency across months is always more valuable than maximum dose across 3 days. Here is what stays with me about garlic and olive oil. In Crete right now, as you read this, there are people in their 90s who began this practice before you were born, who have done it every day for 7 decades without being told by a study or a health trend that it was worth doing. They did it because their grandmothers did it, and their grandmothers did it because their grandmothers did it. Somewhere in that chain of passing down, someone first observed what we are now documenting in laboratories, that a body given these 2 things daily, consistently, for a lifetime, is a different body from one that was not. The ancient Egyptians understood it. Hippocrates understood it. The soldiers of Rome understood it. The physicians of the Arab world understood it. And the grandmothers of Crete have understood it without needing a study to confirm it. For longer than modern medicine has existed. They were not selling anything. They were not following a trend. They were watching what happened to the people who did this, and passing the observation forward. This is what this channel is here for. Not to teach you the names of compounds. To bring back the practices, the daily habits, the simple rituals that give the body what it has always been capable of using. Garlic and olive oil are 2 of the oldest, 2 of the most documented, and 2 of the most accessible. They are in your kitchen right now. So here is what I want from you. Tomorrow morning and before breakfast, before coffee, before anything else, crush a clove of garlic. Let it rest for 10 minutes. Take it with a tablespoon of your best olive oil. Do it for 7 days, and then come back to this channel and tell me what changed. Which day was the one where the energy shifted? Which morning was the one where the body felt different? Which moment was the one where you looked in the mirror and saw something you had not been expecting? Leave a comment. Tell us your day 3 or your day 6 or the morning you almost skipped and didn't, and what the body showed you because you stayed with it. because this channel exists to bring back what has been forgotten. And every person who tries this and returns to tell us what happened, you are continuing an observation that began in the kitchens of ancient Crete and has never actually stopped. Try it tomorrow. Come back and tell us. And if this changed something for you, share it. Someone in your life has garlic in a drawer and an olive oil bottle they only use for cooking. Tell them what the Cretan grandmothers know. We will see you next time with something else your kitchen has been holding for you.